right, hello. So we just had a lively moment in our household, and my son set off the fire alarm making popcorn. It happens, right? Not a whole lot to be done about it. And I'm realizing that I do not have my tool that I use to open up boxes. Oh, sorry, that's what happens when things get a little frantic for a moment. So, anywho, let me, I guess, just rip this off. And now I can open the box. So I have not opened this. I got the alert this morning that it had arrived. So I then went and scheduled this live stream so I could open it with you. And I got home at 3:30. So I've just been sitting around for 3 hours waiting to open this. And that was not a fun 3 hours. So it's the Hobonichi box. It comes in this kind of cardboardy color this year. And let's go ahead and open it up. So inside it has the quote, "A calendar is filled with numbers, days that have passed and days still to come. It's funny, all of them. The only one we are living is today." Or sorry, of all of them, the only one we are living is today. The only day we can reach out and touch is today. And this is from Safety Match's Fireside Chat. So, a little spoiler alert. I didn't order a ton this year, and there is a little story behind that. I had a budget set aside. Let me just get this out of the way. To spend $150 at Hobonichi. That's what I was going to cap myself at. And for a couple of years, I actually had a colleague that I would order with, and then we would split shipping. But this colleague I stopped working with about a year and a half ago now. And so I reached out to her and didn't hear back. So I went ahead and placed the order. Of that $150, I spent $36 of it in shipping. And so I opted not to get a ton of accessories. Really, I didn't get any accessories. And then the day that I placed my order, I found out that she was in Japan and that she was planning on going to the Hobonichi store. And she said, "Can I pick you up anything?" So thankfully, in the budget that I set aside of that $150, I have about $44 left. And so I sent her a small list of accessories to pick up. And she is in another country, so she is checking Wi-Fi, social media, and text messages every once in a while. So I don't know if she is able to get anything. I believe she said that she was going to the Hobonichi store on September 14th or 15th, and today is September 13th, but there is a time difference. So she may be going tomorrow or the next day, and then I may be doing another haul with those accessories that came directly from the store in Japan. I did, of the small list of things I sent to her, I think I sent 6 things. A couple of them are Japan-only items, so I'm going to be super excited if that works out. But without further ado, let's get into what I got. So let's look at the things that you can see. So I have 2 of the Hobonichi Techo pens. And so that should signal for those of you that know Hobonichi. That should be a little hint that I got 2 planners. And the pen, it's a Uni Jet Stream. and it has Hobonichi Techo 2024. It's this lovely sage green color with brown, which is perfect. I love this pen. In years past, there's been some flashier pens. I can think back to a couple years ago, there was the bright fluorescent yellow one, but then there was also this beautiful pink and white one. So they've really been kind of all over with their pens. This one I really love. So I do have 2 of those. I did get 2 of the free gifts, and the free gifts this year are these tiny gift bags. And I got one that says, "How are you?" Oh, I am so sorry. The fire alarm is going off. I'm not sure if I can turn off the sound on this or not. So we're gonna have to roll with it. Might be stopping. Okay. That was short. And the second one is, oh, I don't know what this says, but it's a really nice coral color. And so these pens, just to put a size comparison, if you were to use the Hobonichi Techo pen that comes with your order of a planner, the pen is a little bit taller than the bag, and it's a little bit longer than the width of the bag. And when it opens up, you can stand it up on a desk. You can put your pen in it and it doesn't tip over. So I like these. These are cute. I don't know necessarily what I will use them for, but they're definitely going to be something that I keep just for the nostalgia memory piece. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. It says day with a face on top and the A making an open mouth. So I definitely see that with the eyes. So thank you. I wondered, because they have the line that is have a nice day, and I wondered if it had anything to do with that, but I wanted to keep my thoughts to myself until I had a little bit more confirmation. So thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. All right. Now, the next thing I got, and this is something that's new. So, well, I guess I'll start with this one. So I ordered the A5 notebook, and I got this pattern, or the similar pattern, last year, but I ended up getting it on, oh, why am I on the struggle bus right now? I'm just gonna tear this apart, huh? So I got this on Amazon because I just wanted this and I didn't want to pay for the shipping to get it from Japan. And so this year I went ahead and ordered another one because it's such a beautiful pattern. Now this particular notebook, it has, let me just double check, the gridded lines. There are, I think it's 4 different colors of gridded lines. So you could use this notebook, looks like 3, 4, there it is. So purple, green, blue, and pink, red. So you could use this and have each color be a different class if you're a student. It could be a different project if you are a project manager. For me, my job, I work across 4 different buildings, so I could use this notebook where each building has a different color, and that could be how I organize things. Or you can just start from the beginning and use it, ink journal, ink spotching, journaling, however you want to. The one that I have currently, I'm actually doing this kind of neat thing where I started off with, oh gosh, I'm going to call it hate journaling, and I hate that. But I had a lot of anger, and I've had therapists among the years advise, kind of that tactic of write a letter, but don't send it, but get the thoughts out of your brain. And so it happened a little bit organically, where I started writing my angry thoughts, my hate thoughts. And I'm not necessarily a hateful person. I've had a lot of things happen that I'm processing, but I do try to be happy. And so what I actually then started doing is I flipped to the back, and I'm using the back to write down quotes that bring me joy or that are inspirational, or I'll write about just the joy that I'm feeling in that given moment. I found myself being really curious that if I keep this up and I'm sticking with the happy joy in the back and the anger, upset in the front, at what point will they meet in the middle? And I have a hunch that it's going to be the joy. I want it to be the joy. And I think that that's going to be a nice visual representation for me of all the positive that is there. So that's kind of how I'm using my other one. This one may be a part 2. I might use it for a different purpose, but I really love the Tomoe River paper. And so whenever I do an order, I tend to get one of their notebooks. I used to previously get the A5 really small notebooks. Actually, I brought my planners up in case I needed to pull them out, and I do. But this one right here, and I've always had one tucked in my planner, and that way if I just have a quick note that I want to jot, I can do that. These are a little bit too thick to do that, but that's okay because I know that going into it. So I picked up one of these because I knew I would want one, and if I'm going to order and pay the shipping, I wanted to get it. My next one is I got the same thing. Let's see if I can open this up. Yay! So I got the same thing in the A6 size. A friend of mine recently gifted me, I think it's an A6, but it might be an A4. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Anyway, a small Leuchtturm notebook. And I've been carrying that around at work and just jotting quick notes in it without really thinking about the aesthetic, but really thinking about the purpose. And so I thought, again, I love this pattern. I'll just get this and I can carry this around. And if I end up using it, I may get a couple next year. We'll see. So this as well has the grid in 4 different colors so that, again, you can organize it however works best for your brain, your needs, etc. But so I got that. Now my planners. I went a little bit of a different direction this year, but I did a lot of thinking about it and a lot of reflection on what my needs are, and especially the last kind of couple of months as I was debating changing jobs and thinking about what that job would look like and what my responsibilities would be. And so I went ahead and got 2 of the Hans. Hi, M. Sean Plans. Thank you for joining, and thank you for saying hi. So my plan is to have one be for personal home and one be for work. And I may even get to a point where I'm leaving the work one at work and really having that separation. But I use these for 2 very different purposes. So let's open up my home. You've already seen this pattern. Notice the theme. I am matchy-matchy this year. I didn't go on the website on September 1st with this plan, but that's how it ended up. All right, so it comes in the plastic sleeve, plastic packaging. There is this paper sleeve right here. Oh, thank you, M. Sean Plans. am blown away. Sorry, I'm just going to segue for a moment. Anytime that I get a really positive comment, recently a viewer had commented that they look forward to my Sunday videos and they plan along with me, or when people tell me they love my channel, or any comment just makes me so happy, because this is such a creative outlet for me, and I would not have been able to connect with any of you if it were not for this channel. So thank you. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, so this is in Japanese. I don't read Japanese, but as with most of the Hobonichi products, their general theme is a life book. This is my life. They're looking for something to catalog your life. So the hone goes along with that. And it is a hardcover book. So and I love that they thought of this, and they're thinking of the purpose, the aesthetic, but just at the end of the year, you want to be able to take your book and put it on a shelf, and that is the book of 2024. I do keep all of my past Hobonichis. I'm not much of a ephemera decorator, so my Hobonichis don't get very bulky. The pages get a little crinkly just from touch and flipping through. But I do add some pictures occasionally. I will add some stickers occasionally in my daily pages. I do add them to my weekly. But my Hobonichis don't get very bulked up, which is really nice. So I just think that this book format is such a good option. And I also can rationalize it and say, I think I'm saving on covers, because this is something that's going to sit at home. I don't need to buy a cover for it. I'm not going to be putting it in my work bag every day and dragging it back and forth to different locations. It'll be relatively stationary. So, but it is this beautiful textured cover with this beautiful floral on it. It's just, and it says 2024 down here in kind of a silvery champagne-y color foil. The inside cover is gorgeous. It's a beautiful beige color. It looks like an old book, and I love it so much. Then there's this first page of Tomoe River paper. I love Tomoe River paper. I did get the Japanese version, quite frankly, because I am cheap. It was $5 more expensive to get English, and I've never not been able to use this planner being in Japanese, so I didn't see the value in paying an extra $5 to have it in English and read the quotes at the bottom, because I've never had a desire to know what those quotes were. I'm just speaking my truth. Sorry if you feel differently. The perpetual calendar, or 6 months on a page. And this one I do think, because this will be dedicated to a personal, I'm likely going to use this for habit tracking this year. I see a lot of people who do their habit tracking with just a simple black dot, and it just looks so beautiful when it's completed. So I think I'm going to try that. And here is the next 6 months. Right here. And then we get into the first month. It does start on a December. However, if you are new to Hobonichi, the daily pages do not start until January 1st. So if you're really going to move into this planner, in my opinion, it's best to really move into it at the start of the year. So I typically don't use the December page in my monthly, but it does start filling out starting the 1st. And where it's approaching 2024, I will start going through my calendar and start filling this out. One of my favorite things to do on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is to really start bulking this up. So I will get all the appointments in here, all the repeating meetings, and so on and so forth. Up until the end of December, I'll likely use pencil when putting things in here, just because life changes, right? So it goes all the way from December of 2023, and then it goes into think it's March of 2025. Yes, March of 2025. From there, it immediately goes into the weeklies. This is really a big reason why I use this planner, is that it has the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, and it has the time on weekly, it has the time on daily, and it just, for me, it works so well for my brain, and it's so functional. So again, the weeklies also start on January 1st, and 2024, guys, it's going to be an excellent year because it starts on a Monday. How could you beat that? So I am so excited for 2024. That's just a gift right there. So you're going to get your first full week on a full week. It's going to be beautiful. So the weeklies go through, I think they just go through December, but it's been a hot minute since I've looked at it in that depth. Yes. So the last week in the weeklies, it includes the last couple of days of December, and then it goes into the first few of January. Oh, Sean plans a part 3 haul. Oh, I am jealous. I may start saving a little bit more, and what I might do is next year have a larger budget for Hobonichi. I don't know how I didn't know this, but I just learned that if you spend $250, you get free shipping. So I either want to plan to do a bigger purchase next year, maybe get more of the notebooks and things like that, and kind of beef up that order to get the free shipping. Or I may just spend the year recruiting people into the Hobonichi family discreetly, and then when it comes time for next September, reach out to them all and say, hey, you know that planner I've been chatting up? You want to go in on an order? Just so that we all get the cheaper shipping. Yes. Oh, I didn't look to see for the so Jenny is sharing with the group that the April start planner is also starting on a Monday. This 2024, guys, it's going to be the best year. This is going to be great. Let's start making big goals. Let's plan for wonderful things to happen, because I don't know how you can get much better. Okay, so thank you, Jenny, for telling me that. I was feeling really silly that I didn't know that. I wonder if because they have such a huge market in the United States now, such that they have now done the English planner, if now they are offering those shipping deals because it's maybe more lucrative for them, that would make sense. And Sean plans, if you put away a little bit of money each paycheck, your husband's not even gonna know. That's what I did. All right, so that's the weeklies. And then this is always, I don't know about you, never know what to do with this page. I started this year, I made let me grab out my cousin. I love how you can see my fingers touched it a lot marks. So you can tell where the weeklies start. So this is what I did for turning the page to a new year, is I put down some pens that I really wanted, and I put down some inks that I really wanted, and I actually could mark off some of these because I got the Narwhal Grand Rhapsody, I got the Esterbrook SD, I got the Platinum 3776, and I had already marked off the Twisby Eco Royal Jade, the Sailor Poker Slim Nuts, Manio Nuts, and Laban Rosa, and then I chose not to get Platinum Shape of Heart. That was a decision that I had to make. And then I've gotten a lot of Warangul samples, but I've actually, the ones that I really want, I don't have. I might have Lost and I might have The Mind, actually. I tried Robert Oster Rose Gold Antiqua, but it actually wasn't my favorite. It dried brown and I wanted it to dry that rosy color. I am completely off track now. Sorry, guys. Oh, hello, Phoebe. So Phoebe is waiting for a second order. Oh, the drawer pouches. I keep looking at them. Maybe if I'm going to try for the free shipping next year, maybe that's when I get the drawer pouch. That might be a really good idea. And perhaps even one of the Weeks wallets, the ones that zip up, because that could be used as a wallet that has dual purpose. And thank you. I love hearing the compliments on my handwriting. I've always had a lot of envy when looking at other people's handwriting. And so when I think about how I feel about seeing someone's really good handwriting, and then I think that someone might feel that way about me, makes me happy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I think Hobonichi is pretty consistent with their really good products, but this year was a really good year for sure. So after we have the turning the page to a new year, which I may do a wish list. You know what might be fun is to maybe each month do a monthly, end of the month highlight on here, so it just becomes a compilation of really good memories. Maybe that would be a fun thing to do. So then we get into the first month. Much like the cousin, it has the colors down the side that tell you where the months start or are, where they physically are. Each month has a different color, and for example, January is red, and then you get into February, which is brown, and actually September is also a brown, but they're two different color browns. But the monthly page right here actually is a blank page. However, when it's laid down, you can see the grid underneath, and that's actually what I use when I'm using this page. And this year and the end of last year, I used this page to document the pens and inks that I was using for that month. And so I start off with the pens and inks that I have at the beginning of the month, and then if I were to get any new pens or ink up any different pens, I would add those onto this page, so it covers the whole month. Each day in the month has its own full page, which is great. It does have the month is number 1, which is January. The day is the 1st. The day of the week is Monday, and it does have the character for Monday, and it also has the moon phases. For me personally, I just put my hand on my chest as if you guys can see that I'm gesturing to myself. I put the weather right here. I love to be able to look back at different years and see what the weather is. I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist. However, I do very much believe that seasons are shifting. I live in the Northeast, specifically Massachusetts. And so we have those 4 distinct seasons a year. But it seems as if when I was growing up in New Hampshire, we started having big snowstorms in December, and now we're getting the big snowstorms in February. We used to, start of school would come and we'd have those cold, crisp mornings in September, versus the last 2 weeks have been 80, 90 degrees and humid and disgusting. Oh, hello, Eris. Did I say that right? I'm not sure. I'm so sorry. But I love your first name. It's beautiful. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So I like to track the weather because, oh, good. Got it right. Yay. I like to track the weather just because I want to be able to go back and look at that. This has these 5 check boxes right up top where you could put your 5 priorities of the day. There's a bunch of ways that you could use that. This past year, I've been using my cousin primarily for memory keeping and journaling. So what I've been doing is a header up here of a phrase or a word that captures the big thing of that day or the majority of that day. And then I journal throughout the page. That's how I've been doing it. And then in my weekly section, that's where I record what I've actually done. So I can actually, for anyone who hasn't seen my planning videos, for example, this is last week. So I've got, and I try to match it up actually pretty close to the time of day that it happened. So I'll mark down the different things that I did, and then at the end of the week, I'll throw in just a couple of stickers to match it. I have times where mostly I try to use one sticker a day, but other times I'll throw in a couple more. And then here's an example of my journaling. Again, I've got my, goodness, I open up to the page where my friend's cat passed. Oh, that's sad. But I know just looking at that, I can bring myself back to that day, because that's the way that I've set up my journaling. And then occasionally I'll add in some pictures and such. So that's how I've used my, this is Mother's Day. My husband got me a photo book with comments and things from my channel. So some of you might be in there. I do have a video on that where I do a slow flip through. So if you think you might be on there and you haven't seen it, go back. I posted it right after Mother's Day. I don't know how to link videos. I'll just be honest. So just pausing because I see a couple messages from Jenny. Oh, so Jenny's a Canadian. She is also noticing that seasons are shifting. Oh, yeah. So that was many, many months ago, but my friend's cat, Jameson, passed. And then before that, their other cat, Buffett, had passed. And when I say before that, I mean, I think it was 3 weeks before that, Buffett passed. And then you know what? It could have been 2 months. Don't quote me on that, obviously. But so Buffett passed. They got a kitten named Ginger so that Jameson would have someone to play with. And plus the combination of Jameson and Ginger, obviously a really funny name. But then Buffett had some really, he had tumors that were placed in parts of his body that were not good. And so one of them was actually in his esophagus. So he had some very, very big symptoms associated with that, and they needed to make the choice to put him down. And actually, those friends I just got together with last night, and their pet insurance was continuing to charge them for Jameson, even though they had alerted them multiple times that Jameson had passed. So they just got credited back like $300 for the pet insurance. So yeah, that's how I use my weekly. That's how I use my daily. And with this planner being my home planner, my goal or my plan is to keep that all the same. I'm going to keep using this as memory keeping because that's just most effective for me. Now, the one thing I'm going to figure out between now and the end of the year is I talked about home versus work, and I mentioned that I might keep my work planner at work, but I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think that's actually how it's going to play out. I think that this is going to be my home memory keeping journaling, and this is going to continue to be my task management, but the majority of tasks are going to be work related tasks. But I will iron that out just because I have made the commitment. Now here's a card that gives some information about this cover. So that comes with this version of the Han, and the life is present, which again, I love that. I have really found over the past almost 2 years, I got into a head-on collision in November of 2021 and ended up with a 2-point concussion that put me out of work completely for 3 weeks. And then I was able to do an hour a day for a week, and each week was able to add an hour. So I was out of work for a while, and I learned through that how not present I was at home. And thank goodness my husband is a very tolerant man, because he should have left me. But because I have figured that out and I have changed, it's now a whole different relationship that he and I have. And even my son and I talk about how I'm a much better mom now, and I'm much more happy and present. And my last job that I had, my son actually said to me at one point, I thought it was going to be better at this job. I thought that you were going to be happier and you were going to be here more. It's the same as your last job. And that was kind of a wake up point for me. I've seen people talk about cutting out these little characters. I've never touched these pamphlets. I keep all of them since 2016. I have them all, but maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. So that comes with it. And then last but certainly not least, as part of this hone is, and I think this is actually my favorite part of the hone, it comes with a pencil board, and it's clear, and it has a pencil holder or pen holder. To me, this doesn't look like the most sturdy pen holder. I would actually be very worried about it breaking off. I don't know, but I do like it because you can use it to mark your page, and it has a very small profile. It's just this little flap right here. And then there are the 2 ribbons. That was the other thing I really liked about the hone, is you would get the ribbons in the Hobonichi covers, but this one comes with it. Kind of like the weeks. So this one has a navy and a champagne gold color ribbon. So I'm actually going to, here's my neuroses kicking in. I'm gonna pull that so it's as straight as possible and it can flatten. Now, I could see myself getting a little worried about this being white and getting dirty. So don't be surprised if you see me put a case on this, just because I'm so worried that it will get messed up. But I have seen in some videos that people have not gotten this book or gotten this in a different size or gotten it with the plan to put it in a case because they didn't like the taupe versus the white, and they felt that would bother them. I don't mind it. I think it gives it character. So Jenny, I don't know if all the Han planners have the same color ribbon, but I wonder if we can find out right here. Ooh, so when you say draw on it with a pencil, do you mean make some designs on it and decorate it? Yeah, you know what? That might be a really lovely idea. Or even getting stickers from different places. Sorry, this is loud. And covering it with stickers. That could be another option. Wow, that should not be that hard, Erin. All right, so here is the second Han that I got. So same packaging, same sleeve. The foil appears to be the same color, but it's in a different location. And this one has cats. Look at the cats. I just thought this was so ridiculously cute, let me be clear, that it would be really fun to bring to work, and it could be a conversation piece. I feel very strongly that, especially I work with children with disabilities, and so parents are going through different stages of grief and may have a history of people not giving their child the services that they should get. There's a lot of emotions that come to the table, and I have worked really hard throughout my career to connect personally with the parents of students that I work with, so that they view me as a human and not as this service provider that they can get behind the screen of a computer and be a little unkind towards. And so I like to kind of force little tidbits about myself onto the families that I work with. And that way we can continue to have conversations about it. So I just thought, as things are coming out of COVID and in-person meetings are starting to happen more, it'd be really nice to have this as a planner and, every once in a while perhaps have a conversation about it. But I love that it's got all the cats in all the different colors, and it's got little balls of yarn. The cats are going different directions. It does say 2024 on the spine. Hobonichi back here. I think this is the bow tie collection, but it has some texture to it. Very pretty. It also has the same pencil board, and because of the noise that it makes, I'm not going to open that up because it's going to be the same thing that we just saw. And the book itself is also set up exactly the same. So let's look at these ribbons. So these do look like they are the same color. Animala, yeah, starting to come out of COVID, right? Isn't it awful that I'm saying that? But it's still, there's been a lot of still kind of COVID operations with doing remote meetings. And I actually was talking to the chorus teacher who was talking about how they did not get into being a chorus teacher or a music teacher to have to operate under the conditions of COVID, and they're having her teach chorus in a full auditorium so that she can space the kids apart while they're while they're singing. And that was not my experience when I was in chorus. So, yeah, I guess what I really meant by that comment is having in-person meetings where we're all in the same room again, as opposed to remote meetings. And that might have been the better way of saying it. But yes, these ribbons are the same color. And so I have a sample size of 2. I would be interested in looking on the website to see if they specify for the other hones if they are the same color. It has the same inside flap. Oh, and has all the same features of daily, weekly, monthly, 6-month at a glance. But then what I didn't look at is the end. So going to our dailies, we have our December 31st, and then there are a few blank pages. They're not numbered. They are I think it's like a light gray, light blue grid here. Oh, you're welcome, Jenny. I'm happy to check the ribbons. I like doing this live and being able to interact. That's been fun. In-person meetings, they're happening for, I'm going to say, higher profile cases. So, for example, I have a family that the student really had a hard time last year, and the team wants to pull all the resources, and they have a number of new resources like myself together, just to make sure we're all on the same page and we're being reflective and we're giving this particular student what he needs. And so we are having an in-person meeting tomorrow, and I'm low-key nervous about it because I'm so used to doing a Zoom meeting and being in my little comfort bubble. So it's a little bit different to think about being in the same room with people. And so that will be tomorrow for me. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Have you guys heard about the one chip challenge? That's been a little bit my world this week, is the one chip challenge. It's silly. If you don't know about it, I don't know that I'd advise looking it up. It's a spicy chip that's super spicy, but kids are thinking it's funny to bring it to school and pass it out. Then we have the timetable. So this would be perfect for a student, whether it's somebody that's in middle school, high school, college. But it's really nice. The way that they have it set up, to me, as someone who works in schools, is it has the different blocks of the day and the days of the week. But I'm sure that if you are somebody that segments your day, for example, I was watching Planning Life with Erin, which is a YouTube channel that I watched a while ago, and then I don't know why I kind of wasn't keeping up with the videos, and now I'm getting back into it. But Erin from Planning Life with Erin, she does Miracle Morning, and then she's got kind of her kid stuff, and then she has her stuff. And so if she were to use this for Miracle Morning and getting the kids ready for school and working, I think she has an Etsy shop or some kind of a side hustle business, and she might be able to use this for that. Yeah, so Jenny, the One Chip Challenge chip has been pulled from the shelves in the United States as well. And actually, the child who died lives 30 minutes from my house. So we actually, as a family, had a really big discussion about social media challenges. And we personally do not have, our child does, he's 11 and a half. He does not have a cell phone. He's not on social media apps. That's a decision that we have made as a family. But we were able to have this wonderful conversation over dinner the other night about the dangers of this, and really the dangers of accepting food from people that you don't know at school. And sometimes I think my son just says what he thinks I want to hear, but he's like a little grown up, and he gets on his little podium, or I'm using the wrong word and I can't think of it right now, but he's, that's not right, you shouldn't do that, etc. Yeah, I'm very sad for that family, and I actually know somebody who works in that school system. So it's sad. It's sad. The school I work at, they had 18 students that were sent home on Monday, and the families were advised to go to the emergency room. So part of what we talked about is the cost that a family has to now deal with, because health insurance is not cheap, and different plans have different costs. For some, an emergency room visit may be a $5 copay. For others, it could be $750. It could be higher because they're not being admitted. But, going on the extreme to think about having a bite of a chip and now paying $750, that is silly, silly, silly. It has a graph paper page if there are things that you like to track. A couple of years ago, and I open up my cabinet to try to be prepared for this. Let's see, I've got my 2022, 2016, 2021, 2017, 2018. But the graph page has been there. Yeah, so this year I was tracking my daily movement with an average per month, and I think these were miles. So I just kind of drew that in. Let's see, 2017. Oh, look at that, baby Erin. Oh. I didn't use the graph paper here. Did I use it in 2016? Look at my son. Oh my God. Oh yes, Jenny, health insurance. It is expensive. Expensive, yeah. Let's see, this one I don't think had, oh, this one had the 2-tiered graph paper. Thank you. I'm very biased, but I do think he's very cute. And this one, I tracked my weight and I tracked movement. So I have occasionally used the graph page that's located in the back for a variety of reasons, mostly health related. And then it has favorites, and you can choose whether it's movie, book, music, restaurant, shopping, I think, and entertainment, or a show of some sort. You can rate your stars, the date you went, and what it was. Top 100, there was a year where, let's see, and you'll see what a terrible person I am because I didn't finish it. But I started writing down, yes, right here, husband gratitude. So different things that my husband would do that I felt grateful for. And I was really good about it at the beginning of the year, and then life happens, right? And by the way, this was 2021 when I got into my car accident and had a big change in realigning my values and such. So, yes. And then this looks like it's a page to put a picture per month, but that's my guess. And then they tend to have some different, they've had recipes in the past, they've had workouts in the past. But this I need to do a little bit more research on what these are. And I get it, if I had gotten the English version, I would know that. But again, I haven't needed these things in the past. Gifts, the to and from, just to track that. But I actually do, on a budgeting spreadsheet that I have, I actually track gifts that I get for people. Not necessarily what I receive, but I tend to, in my daily journaling, mark off what I received. And then they have the different years of birth and how old you are. Yay. And then addresses for only 8 people, but Hobonichi does sell a separate address book that you can get. And then your personal information. And then what I've always loved is they do stamp all of their planners. So each planner has a unique number on it. So you can see those are 2 different numbers. And if I pull back my planner from last year, or this is from 2021, and that starts with a 2. I wonder, does 2023 start with a 3? Nope. 2023 also starts with a 2. Yep. Yeah. So that is, oh no, I bent it. That is my order from Hobonichi for 2024. Let me just pull it all back in. I don't want to do that. Something like that. Anyway, this is what I got in my 2 pens, which match this one. So love that even more. And I'm very excited to use both of them. I'm really excited to kind of see how this year goes with having a hone for journaling and memory keeping, and a hone for task management and work, and how that goes. The other piece, and I'll talk about it as we get closer to 2024, but I really wanted the weekly on my work one so that I can put in some ideas of how I want to allocate my time and then be able to document how it actually went. So I'm going to be playing around with that and take you all along for that journey. I don't necessarily get subscribers based on my planning videos, but I do have a good amount of comments that keep my motivation up for doing this and sharing this process. So thank you all. I did definitely see some names in here that I recognize. And Gristle, I'm reading your comment right now. Oh, Victorian budget books. I'll have to take a peek at that. because I love exploring different planners, and then you kind of have me on budget there. The last couple of months I've been on a big journey for budgeting, and I've been using a digital budget book so far, but yeah, so thank you. And Sean, I would love to come live again. Before I sign off, does anyone want to let me know what are some things you'd like me to do live? Is it something you want me to try to do weekly? I am open. I love this. This made my night. So I am open. Oh, you are so welcome, Jenny. So, and I will also, if I were to get those items actually from Japan, from my former colleague that's there right now, I will do a video for that, probably live, because I'm getting some good feedback from it. Yeah, so I will do a post in my community, the community side of my page. I am away this weekend. My lady friends are taking me away for my 40th birthday. I'm getting back midday Sunday, so my planning video is going to be late. But it is what it is. I will get it out there, and everything will be fine, right? Ooh, yes, I can definitely put my journaling process live for sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, my 40th was in August, but this was the weekend that we were all able to get away. We are going to a lake house in Maine, and the weather's going to be terrible, but that's okay because all I want to do is do puzzles and have charcuterie and drink some wine and just relax. That's all I want. So yeah, much like Gristle, I also need to sign off. I'm gonna go do a little snug with my son. And thank you so much, Tina. I think it is gonna be a really good time. It's one of those times where all my lady friends that I tend to splinter out and see, we're all gonna come together. So it's really great. But yes, I could probably chit chat for forever, but I am gonna sign off, and I will do another live soon. I will absolutely bring that content. So thank you. All right. Bye.